Ciao ragazzi, I'm Danilo and welcome back to another video. Today, as you can see, I'm joined by my dear friend Alessandro,
Thanks for having me.
who is a Daddario specialist.
Yes.
And as you may know, I've been an artist for Daddario for like over 2 years now. And I wanted to invite him over because, as you know, I have a big guitar collection. I mean, it's not huge, but I'm pretty happy about it.
Yeah.
Maintaining a guitar collection like mine, it's pretty difficult and most of all, expensive.
It might be super expensive.
It might be super expensive when you have no idea what you're doing and you need to go to a luthier or something to have the guitar fixed, cleaned, polished, change strings and everything. That's why he's here, because he's going to teach me how to take proper care of my guitars without spending a fortune.
And maybe still a couple of those.
Let's talk about my guitars, because I have two different types of guitars.
Yep.
For example, this is my favorite guitar, and it's the Murphy Lab Les Paul Custom, as you may know, the R9, but it has a Nitro finish.
Yep.
So there's already a problem about it, right?
Yeah. In most cases, we do forget about some details, or simply we don't know that certain products on certain finish maybe, let's say, dangerous to use, or we might regret later, especially when you have a nitro finish or a matte finish. There are a couple of products that we have that can be extremely helpful on other type of guitars, but on guitars like this are definitely not to be used to prevent any type of problems.
And that's why I have my Flying V over here. This is the main guitar we will focus on today.
Yep.
Because on this one, the finish is not nitro.
Yep.
It's I have no idea what finish it is, but it's
let's say regular painting.
yeah, exactly. But it's not nitro, so we are not endangering with the polish. As you can see, it has some dirt spots, really nasty stuff on the pickups and on the hardware.
I like stuff.
Yeah, because as you know, my guitars are always on showcase,
hanging
on the wall. They are not in a case. So I want my guitars to always be ready whenever I need them. If you want to record something, I need to just grab the guitar and use it. And that's why it's a bit concerning for me to take good care of them. Also about the strings, because sometimes if I'm not using the guitar for like a month or two, then when I need it, maybe the strings are all gone and dead.
Especially if you leave the guitar hanging on the wall, just like, I mean, humidity or whatever it's in the air can bring to strings corrosion. So it's very important to use, let's say, in certain scenarios like yours, to use coated strings, or treated strings that prevent corrosion from happening.
So yeah, let's start with this one, and he's going to teach me how to take a proper care about it.
Let's go. So first thing first, let's open the cleaning kit, which comes into this beautiful case, and let's see what we have inside. So here we have everything we're gonna need to take care of our guitar. And starting off, we have this little mat, so we don't need any big yoga mats. Then we have this nice tool to rest the neck of the guitar over here. You open it up, you place it here. It has this rubbery end over there, so it doesn't slip. Moving on, we're gonna use, of course, regular polishing cloths. We're gonna use our 3-step detailer, Guitar Works Step 1, Step 2, and Step 3, which is our spray cleaner. Later on, I'm gonna show you also this other product, which is very important, especially for your expensive guitars.
Okay.
It's extremely important, the Hydrate. It's a conditioner for the fingerboard. We're gonna take care also of the fret using the fret polishing system that I'm gonna show you in a minute. And by the end of the restring, we're also using the Accelerate, which is another cool thing that you can apply on your strings to give them a longer lifespan.
I just got the Accelerate name.
as Italian, XLR8, and it's Accelerate. So, of course, we're using, we're gonna use XS strings. In this case, Danilo opted for a 946.
Yeah, that's the strings I always use on every guitar.
It's a great hybrid choice, and we're gonna use, of course, the XS. Some of you might know that XS are coated strings. It means that there is a protection on the top of the string, and he helped the string to last longer, and it also prevents corrosion from sweat or also just humidity that might be present in your room. Let's get our hands dirty. So, we had an overview of the things we're gonna use, but first thing first, let's remove the strings. We can use this Pro Winder. It's a very cool tool because it's just a simple winder on one side. It has a cutter and the side, and if you need to remove the pin of the acoustic, I mean, it doesn't have any pins.
It's not the case, but
I mean, I just wanted to showcase with
of course.
the gesture. So we can start with the strings and removing strings. We took off the strings, and now we have the full guitar in front of us, and we can understand better what should we do to clean it up, and we have access also to those spots that were covered by the strings. So first thing first, I like just to make sure that I know where there are like deposits of dirt or sweat or whatever needs to be cleaned, because as we said, for example, this area over here has some minor scratches.
You can already feel it.
Yeah.
There's something grimy and disgusting over it,
yeah?
And also in this area. But
so let's say that usually, in this case, your guitar is pretty clean compared to some of the others. But let's say that the first thing that we can do when we really want to dig deep and take care of our guitar, especially if there are like some minor scratches or deposits of solid dirt that has been there for a while, and we cannot remove it with a simple cloth, we can use the polishing cloth and start with the step one, as we spoke, is basically polish. So whenever we use a polish, we gotta keep in mind that the polish is something that it's on a certain degree very scratchy, because it has to remove, let's say in a kind of aggressive way, the dirt or the little scratches that we have on the guitar. So it's very convenient to use it on a regular painted guitar, but that's the main reason why we don't use it on a matte finish or a nitro finish guitar. If a guitar is matte and if you use something like this and you scratch it
gets clear.
It gets clear, especially if you have like vintage guitar, relic guitar with some cracks in the
which
painting.
is the exact same reason why we're not using it on the Les Paul Murphy Lab.
It has both of those things. It's cracked.
It's cracked and it's nitro.
And it's nitro. So yeah, we can just apply it directly on the cloth. Just a little bit, not too much, because of course, otherwise, then we have to clean it off. And we go exactly in the point that we wanna make sure we remove the dirt from. And once we apply some pressure, not too much, it brushes away. One important thing that we haven't said before, that it's also important to avoid using this type of aggressive product also on pickups, because sometimes we see like we have the bridge and the pickups, and we say, okay, there are some scratches, there is some dirt residue over here. That's
something I'm going to ask you, because as you can see, those are not very clean at the moment, and also there's this kind of grime from the sweat I was telling you about.
Of course.
And I thought I could use the polish as well, but it's not the case.
No, when you use the detailer or polish, any type of polish product, it's very important to avoid it, because since they are brushy and aggressive, you can end up, if you use too much strength, you can end up like removing the painting and the chrome on top of it, which is very important to avoid. Now, once we finish this first step, I'll proceed with step 2, which is the guitar wax. It's basically a protective wax that gives back some of the shine of the guitar, and helps to create a protection that will stay on top of your, let's say it's kind of a coating that you put on your guitar and make it shiny. So let's go. Also in this case, it's important to know that this is something that will get your guitar shiny, so don't use it on matte finish or nitro finish, which is still important. We put some wax on the top of it and we start spreading it to make sure it shines. Well, this is a product you can just spread all over your guitar body, because at the end of the day, it's something that will make your guitar shine. Don't get into the neck. So, step 1 done, step 2 done, step 3, it's coming. So, step 3, it's spray cleaner. As we said, it's the general cleaning product. It's good for every surface. You don't have to be too concerned about it. Of course, I will not suggest to use it on finished wood, of course, but for any type of surface, any type of finish, you should use it. It's easy.
And for example, the spray cleaner is not an issue if you're using it over the coils of the pickups.
That's it.
It does not damage the electronics or anything.
Nope, of course, because I mean, I will not spray directly on
course.
that. You can do it on the body, for example, okay, and then you pass it.
Okay.
But if you use, if you want to clean all the electronic parts, I will suggest to spray directly on the cloth and then proceed. In this case, as you can see, why am I using after the works and after the detailer, I'm using the spray cleaner? Simply because I can remove all the excesses.
Okay.
If there is any leftover, if there is any staining part, because there is too much, probably a product that has been stained in a part of the guitar, you can just remove it with this cleaner and you make sure that it's shiny and ready to go. You can also use it on the pick guard to remove mainly the dirt and the dust. And as you can see, with a little strength, not too much, but you can take the dirt away also from here. Don't be shy to go a little heavier than you expected, and it's pretty shiny.
Yeah,
already.
now it's super shiny.
And you can see the difference in between.
Yeah,
the
I
two,
can already
right?
tell the difference. I mean, you
Okay.
can look here how dirty that is.
On the coils too. And there you go. So as you can see, on a chrome like this, with a frictioning cloth like this, you can just remove everything. But please do not use the detailer or any type of polish on chrome hardwares, please. Do me a favor.
I'll try to remember that as well.
Okay, cool. Otherwise you call me crying and I'll be, I told ya. Most of the time it's not about cleaning, it's about drying it up. Just once you cleaned it, sometimes you have like some leftovers of the product, just take a dry part of the cloth and just redo it, just to make sure there is no like stains or stuff. Because for example, as you see, this part over here, which has already lost some of his chrome, it's due to the sweat.
Of course.
So let's say that everything acidic or everything aggressive like sweat, or also the detailer can be aggressive in this case. Okay, let's proceed to this part, and then we use the spray cleaner to remove the excess.
There's a very big part I'm concerned about it because it's so gross at the moment, and we need to fix that.
We're gonna dress it. We're gonna dress it. Let's go.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Now it's so shiny. Much better.
Probably we're gonna do like a very fast forward section when I just end up cleaning the rest of the guitar with the spray cleaner to make sure that all the surface of the guitar it's clean and neat. So let's do it. I mean, once we finished, we just gotta make sure that we have cleaned all the part that we don't have access to when the strings are mounted. Let's proceed.
Now I have issue number 2. Like I said, I sweat a lot. So the neck and the fretboard got really dirty very easy. We need to clean that absolutely because
Of course.
I have a huge problem with that.
So, I mean, there are like 2 good things to do. First of all, it's to identify which is the product that we wanna use. Basically, in certain cases, I guess you're pretty familiar with lemon oil. If you don't, lemon oil, it's a product which is very good for cleaning and to hydrate also the neck. I would suggest to use it on, let's say, non-treated wood like this. When you have a treated wood or you have a painted neck, you can definitely use a spray cleaner too, because it's a cleaner and you can just scratch it out.
Okay.
When you don't have painting and you don't want your neck to get dirty, but especially dry, because the drier the neck, the easier you can have cracks.
Okay.
Little cracks can walk through and get a little bigger. Nothing crazy to see, but it can affect the sound because it doesn't vibrate, it doesn't resonate anymore. So
that's very interesting.
We have to be careful. This is a very good product to clean and to hydrate your fingerboard. Otherwise, you have just this specific product, which is a hydrate. The hydrate, it's basically just meant to keep your fingerboard hydrated. So what we can do, we also can do both things, because this is more meant to be a cleaner rather than a hydration process, which you can substitute with this one. But for cleaning purpose, I will go with lemon oil first.
I tried to clean my guitars with the hydrate.
Yep.
A long time ago, and of course it didn't work. And now I know why.
Okay, cool. At least you didn't use like vodka on a nitro finish.
Exactly.
Right? It's fine. How do we get rid of this? Use this one. Look, ingenious.
Si vede che sono studiato, eh?
Sei studiato.
Bravo.
Non riesco a toglierlo. Lo sono mangiato, cazzo, di mortacci su. Questa parte andrà tagliata assolutamente. If you need to hydrate it properly, you can literally put it on your
Isn't that maybe too much to put it directly on the fretboard, like every single fret?
It depends, because of course it's gonna hydrate the fingerboard, but maybe if it's too much, it doesn't dry up and it doesn't absorb it. So
what's your suggestion?
I mean, to me, I do prefer to do it with a hydrate.
Okay.
For cleaning purposes, I'll just like to put it on the top of my cloth and refill somehow when I see it's getting drier and drier. So I'll start this way, kind of a soaking wet. I can start off. Of course, I'll try to be as close as at the fret as possible, just to make sure that, because the dirt usually don't stay in the center of the fret. It stays closer to the metal.
Exactly.
Fret.
When I started playing guitar, I was used to clean the dirt with my fingernails.
Okay.
I was like, just a kid doing this. So yeah, I'm glad we did some progress here.
You definitely did. I see that all the dirt is coming off,
Which is nice.
while we wait this to dry up, I will use a very nice product that we have, which is called the fret polishing system.
Okay,
And-
this is very clever.
Yeah, to me it is. Because when we open up this one, we have like 5 small, how can we say, paper that are scratches the surface of the fret and just get it clean. Because it's very important to understand, when you want to maintain a guitar, the first contact points of the strings are your hand on one side and the frets on the other, not the fretboard, the fret itself. So if the frets are dirty, then your string catches up to dirty from the frets, and it doesn't matter if you're just installing the best guitar string in the world, it's still gonna pay dividends on the long run. So the cool part is that you don't have just these 5 papers, but you have a template over here, which we're gonna need a scissor for that, because this template, when I take these things out, are a template for a narrow fret, jumbo fret, and we can use it as a mask to put on the top of the guitar, and to use it to avoid scratching the fretboard, but scratching just the fret to make it shiny and clean. So you have this template, and we took out one of these nice paper, and we're gonna just place it over here. First of all, it's a nice thing to know which type of frets you have, because they can be narrow,
They should be jumbo,
and they jumbo are, of course. So we take the paper and we start scratching from the very first one. So we put the mask over here and we just try. We're gonna have to do like a time lapse over here too.
I think time lapse is in order here.
We're back at it. As you can see now, frets are shiny and clean. They're pretty shiny, and this is the dirt that was left on the paper. So basically, I don't wanna be like the teacher, the grumpy teacher, but if these things goes against the strings, then the strings are gonna get dirty, and the strings are gonna get dirty, they don't last that long. So it's important, at least when you change strings, to have like, take a moment with your guitar, clean it up properly, and go ahead also with these in-depth cleaning things. So it's time for us to put some hydrate, as we spoke. As it says, is a fingerboard conditioner. So you can see it over here. And it's specifically meant to keep your fingerboard hydrated. So in this case, you can literally just place 1 drop on each fret, or maybe you just do 1 every 2 frets, just to make sure you have enough product to spread later on. And here it is. So we take the cloth, and we don't have to make sure as it gets absorbed immediately. We just need to spread it and make sure that all the surface of the fret is wet, and then it will absorb it. It's already absorbing it, so it means that your fretboard needed to be hydrated. As you can see, in this very case, gotta be honest, it was pretty dry, because it's the first time that I see it getting so dry so fast. So it means that if you want, you could even wait a couple of minutes and do a 3rd step, 4th step, until you see that it takes a while for the hydrate to settle and to dry up. Once it's done, we can start
string it up.
String it up. Another cool thing that it's nice to mention that Danilo already has in his maintenance kit Lubrikit, which is a friction remover for the head over here, the nut over here. So I make sure that I put some of this product in between each space to make sure that the strings doesn't friction too much over here, and especially once we use a mobile bridge,
like a tremolo bridge or floating bridge or anything like that.
So mobile bridge is
Mobile
nice.
bridge was
Nice.
a really nice call.
Because in Italy it's Ponte Mobile. It's
the mobile bridge is the one. Hello, hello.
Especially when you use a floating bridge, then you can definitely have some issues because strings move up and down over here. And if they get stuck in the nut, then probably it's not a good thing because, of course, you get out of tune pretty easily. So let's make sure that we can address all the tuning issues to the machines or the bridge, and not also to the nut, because if you just lip on that, you might be wrong at the end of the day. So just a little bit of this product. Of course, it's important to put just a tiny bit of it. Okay, it's time to string it up. Yep. We're almost done. I set the Dario XS 946, as we said before. A little thing which is very important. All the Dario products, every one of them, which is contained in a case and somehow, it has this little code over here, which is the player circle code. It's just important to point it out because it's a very simple thing that you can do. You go on the Dario website, you look for the player circle area, you register your account on it, and it's as easy as that. You find these codes inside every product, and you can type these codes in and you unlock points. And once you have points, you can just pile them up and have rewards for that. I mean, it's not a discount, it's literally something that you can buy through points. So let's get back to the main thing. And let's just mount the strings on here. So there are so many different techniques for...
Now I'm very curious to see yours.
Okay, so it's not, let's say, it's not something official, but this is how I like to put the strings on. So I'll just go to the 3rd fret and raise my finger, let's say like this, or at least until my middle finger touches my thumb. And this is usually enough to have 3 winding against the tuners. I always make sure that the exceedance of the string goes up so that I can just pile up the rounds downwards, if it doesn't make any sense. I don't know what I said.
I know what you're saying.
1, 2, 2.5, 3. So as you can see, it's not a science, but it's always 2 and the beginning of the 3rd. And to me, it's enough. The most important thing to me is to apply tension with my fingers while I do this thing, because I want the string to be very attached to the tuner, so there is no possibility to have like
something loose.
Yeah, because what happens is that when you start to play, then of course the metal is a loose material that will lose up a little bit. So if we can address this problem to the string itself, you just tune it until it sets up. But if you have the problem also over here, because there is some extra space in between the string and the tuner, then it can be a problem on the long run, because it tends to take a while to set. Let's go ahead with the 2nd string and 3rd time lapse. Okay, so strings are done. One thing that I forgot to mention, off camera, we actually also cleaned the headstock, which we didn't show before, but I know that some of you in the comments are saying, yeah, you took care of the whole guitar, but what about the headstock? Headstock is the same thing. It depends from the wood of the headstock. If it's a normal painted wood, which is not nitro, or matte finish, you can just use the detailer. If you have some scratches or dirt over there, you can use the guitar wax, and then you can use the spray cleaner. Otherwise, you just go straight to the spray cleaner and it's gonna be fine like this. So, quick thing to mention.
Of course.
We're gonna tune it up.
This is the nicest tuner I ever got.
Yeah, so let me show you which are the pros and the strength point of this tuner. First of all, let me show, I mean, it's extremely versatile, because you can open it up like this, it spins like this, and then it spins also like this. So wherever you want to place it, even with the weirdest shaped headstock, you can have it down here and still be able just to turn it to your side and see what you're doing. One thing that I like a lot is that is an LED tuner. So it's very, very bright. Even if you're playing under the sun and the sun hits the screen, you're still able to read what you're doing and what you're actually tuning, which has been a nightmare. The old technology behind this thing that makes it very special is that is USB rechargeable.
Yeah,
there is
no
a
battery, no anything.
No, like this. So
it's
you
really
just
easy.
recharge it for a couple of minutes before the show, and you're good to go for the whole 2 hours, 3 hours show that you have. You can also leave it on. Yeah, because the battery lasts very long. And let me tell you, I know for a fact, because when we do events, I just tune probably 20 up to 50 guitar a day during the entire day and never have to recharge it. So it's a very good product we're very proud of. Let's tune the guitar. Is it in standard, right?
Yep.
When it's time to tune it properly, I get to the note that I want and then I start stretching a lot. And as you can see, if you do it once again, now it's perfectly tuned, and I just start once again stretching the string. So back at it, guitar is tuned. That's the final test. And one last thing that is very important to use maybe before you put your guitar away or you put it back in the hangers on the wall, or you just finish your live set. This is something that I always tell. You can have the best guitar strings in the world, you can have the coated strings or whatever you want, but daily maintenance is something that it's crucial for a long lasting set of strings. The things that I suggest you to do the most are just keep with you something like the sprite cleaner, polishing cloth, and accelerate in your guitar case, because it makes a whole lot of difference. When you finish playing, you just take some of this product, just take away the dirt from your guitar, share some love with your instruments, and before putting it back, use the same cloth just to dry up all the sweat from your guitar. And the other important thing is to use the Accelerate, which is a lubricant and cleaner, which allows us with this little sponge, which is soaked with this lubricant liquid, to just pass it on the strings and make sure that they stay ready for the next time we pick it up. This will help us a lot in terms of maintaining the guitar, the strings as new as possible. The general purpose behind this product is just to make sure that you use it before you put the guitar away.
Okay.
Because as you can see, these little bubbles of liquid that you have in the strings now are the things that keeping the strings hydrated and wet and don't dry it up or corrode it when you just place it back on the hanger on the wall. So that's my general advice for all the guitars that you might put on the wall and not into the case. That's it.
I guess we're ready to hear how it sounds.
Yeah, definitely. As we said, we have a totally different subject here. Not that the other one was not enough, but let's say that when we talk about a Murphy Lab, Gibson custom shop, definitely it's something that we need to treat with gloves. I mean, the drill is the same. We just unstring the guitar, clean it up, and we use just the spray cleaner in this case. As opposed to the other case when I was spraying directly on the guitar, I will highly suggest to spray directly on the cloth and pass it on the guitar, because there are some scratches and there are some, let's say, little holes that we don't want to be soaked wet, and it's way better to have it on the cloth itself and then to clean the guitar up, because if I just spray directly over here, I mean, somehow you can just maybe change a little bit the color of the wood behind, and it's not a great idea overall to make it soaked wet. So I just need to remove some dirt and then proceed with the fingerboard.
So yeah, for example, the fretboard and everything is exactly the same.
It's the same drill
process
because we
we did
have
before.
Non-treated wood. We're gonna mount the same strings on top of
Yep.
that, or maybe you are gonna mount the same strings on top of that, because
Yeah.
now you know the drill, my friend.
Are you sure you're not free for the entire week? I actually super appreciate you coming down here and helping me out on
my
understanding
pleasure.
everything, because for example, like I said, it will be a huge mistake for me to
Yep.
use the wax on this one, and I
Yep.
didn't know that I wasn't supposed to use it, so that was really helpful.
Yeah,
So,
man, there
thanks so
are
much.
just little things like where to use what, when to use what, and where to use what. So you know it. You have the 3 steps for regular guitars. You have just a spray cleaner for this one, lemon oil and hydrate, and that's it. And then don't forget that XLR8 daily maintenance. It's much better than deep maintenance done once a month or once every while. So
Of course.
you just take care of your guitar daily and make sure that you change the strings less as possible.
Okay, so I think that was it for today's video. I hope you learned something just like I did. Thank you so much, Ale, for coming out.
Thanks a lot for having me. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. It's
And-
nice to meet you through the screen.
And I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao!